Hi makers! In this two-part video series I will show you how to make this RGB lightsaber. It looks really cool, and the best thing is that you can swap the blades so you can have shorter or longer blades. It also has RGB lighting, which means that it has red, green and blue as base colors. And then you can mix the colors. For example, red and green will become orange, blue and red will become purple, and green and blue will become light blue. Not to mention that it's durable enough to have a couple of Jedi fights. So let's get started. So to make a lightsaber, you will need some wires, a 1 watt RGB LED, 2 bottle caps with screw pieces, a dip switch with 3 or more micro switches, an M3 nut, an M5 washer, 2 AA batteries, and a 20 and 60mm plastic tube. First, you will need to cut the handle. You will need to measure it and cut for yourself, depending on how big your hand is. It also depends on if you want to hold it with 1 or 2 hands. However, the batteries and electronics won't fit in if the handle piece is less than 14 centimeters. I'm going with 14 centimeters. Take a hacksaw and cut it. Sand down the ends. Rough the ends up with a file. Hot glue one of the screw pieces onto one end of the plastic pipe. Insert the 2 batteries and stick a skewer in at the other end. Push it in until it reaches the batteries. Then take a marker and mark the skewer at the opening. Measure that section of the skewer, in my case 5.5 centimeters, and transfer those measurings onto the plastic tube at the end without the screw piece. Then mark again at 1.5 centimeters lower from the first marking. Take your 60mm plastic tube and mark and cut at 1.5 centimeters. Clean up the ends with sandpaper. Take your washer and solder a 10 cm long wire to it. Secure it in place inside the smaller plastic tube with the wire coming out from the other end. You need to be very careful not to put hot glue onto the side which doesn't have the wire soldered to it, as this could affect the contact between the battery terminal and the washer. Then take a small diameter drill and drill straight through the pipe at the inner marking. Insert the drill bit. Then put some hot glue onto the pipe. Push it in quickly with a pen until you feel the drill bit. You need to act very quickly as the hot glue hardens very fast. I actually had to redo this step 3 times. Because of that, the hot glue hardened before the plastic pipe reached the drill bit. Take the same drill bit and drill a hole into one of the caps. Take a length of wire and push it through the hole in the cap. Solder a nut to it on the other end. Secure the nut in the center of the cap with some hot glue. Remember to not put hot glue onto the top side of the nut. Screw the cap onto the screw piece on the tube. With the batteries in place, you should get a light from the LED, but don't solder them together yet. First you want to glue the wire from the cap onto the side of the pipe. You should leave a small length of wire above the cap. Next, take your switch and mark a micro switch with a red pen, another with a green pen, and a third one with a blue pen. Then position the switch in the place where you want it to be and trim the wire. Strip off a long piece of wire from it and connect it to all of the input terminals on the switch. After that step, take a length of blue wire and solder it to the output terminal of the micro switch, which is marked blue. Solder an equal length of green and red wire to their output terminals on the switch too. Secure the dip switch to the tube with hot glue. I also twisted the wires together. Drill a bigger hole above the switch for the wires. Feed the wires through the hole. Pull them out with some pliers. I then trimmed all of the wires so there only were about 1.5 centimeters sticking out from the pipe. I untwisted them and stripped them. You see that the LED is slightly bigger than the inner diameter of the tube, so I will go ahead and file down the edges. Solder the blue wire to the blue anode, the red wire to the red anode, and the green wire to the green anode on the LED. Solder the last wire to the common cathode. After that, take a pair of pliers and push the LED module into the tube as far as you can. Secure the LED module in place with some hot glue. At this point, if you flip one of the marked switches, you should see a light coming from it. I realized that the red part of the LED shines much brighter than the blue and the green part. So I took a look at the label on the LED's package, and it said that the red LED only needs about 2.2 volts. I first thought that the LED had built-in resistors, but apparently not. So I went ahead and soldered a 17 ohm resistor between the red switch and the red wire. I secured the switch with hot glue again. So now when you turn the red and green on, you should see a yellow light. And when you turn the red and blue on, you should see a purple pinkish light. That was all for this weekend. Subscribe to be the first who watches next weekend's video, where we finally finish the lightsaber. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next weekend.